I don't feel the way I've ever felt. I know, gonna smile and not get worried. I try, but it shows.
Hello and hello again. I'm your humble and handsome host, Dylan J. Curtis, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Curtis Zone. As always, hit the like and subscribe button for more content. And of course, if you want to see more of me, my smiling face, and of my bouncing pecs, just like and subscribe. Today is a very fun episode. We're doing an episode on an old series from Nickelodeon called Supah Ninjas. Let's talk about it, shall we? And remember, like and subscribe. But before we get started, news anyone? Some news from the world of Warner Brothers, and more specifically from Henry Cavill himself. He has teased that he will be in a reboot of an old series known as Highlander. Personally, I don't think he'll do a great job, but then again, he won't do a bad job. But my biggest thing is, who's going to play the big bad guy? If he's going to be playing the Highlander, who's going to play the bad guy? Huh? The next piece of news from the world of Disney itself, it is being said that they're canceling a lot of projects like the live-action Lilo and Stitch, the Thunderbolts, and a whole lot of other stuff. This is due to the fact that the timeline that they've got set to release all this stuff, everything is way too close together, so they got to spread it out and cancel it. Personally, I think that's a good idea because Disney, they need to slow down a little bit, okay? The final piece of news from the world of Hasbro itself, it is being rumored that they're going to be doing a G.I. Joe special that's going to be on Paramount Plus before they release a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover. I'm really hoping that this is true news because, in my opinion, there's a lot to explain about G.I. Joe, and they need to do a TV show or a special before they do a movie. So, yeah, there's that. Now let's talk about Supah Ninjas, shall we? And remember, hit that like and subscribe button. Let's get started, shall we?
Supah Ninjas would have its first episode in January 2011, had its final episode in April 2013. It starred the acting talents of Ryan Potter, Gracie DeZena, Carlos Knight, and George Takei as the...
Now the first thing you need to know about Supah Ninjas is that it had a great cast and a lot of great guest stars on it. But we're going to talk about that later in important moments or favorite moments, shall we? But the series was short-lived due to the fact that it received a lot of controversy from a lot of parent groups because they were using children to do dangerous missions and fight dangerous bad guys, and parent groups didn't necessarily like that.
Decades ago, two brothers fought over a weapon known as the floating sword. The floating sword would destroy one brother's mind and turn him evil while the other one died at the hands of it. One brother would become leader of a clan known as the Ishina, the other would become leader of a clan known as the Fukunaga and die at the hands of protecting the floating sword. This would lead us to the events of the first episode where we would meet best friends Mike Fukunaga and Owen Reynolds. Owen is Mike's biggest fan, and they're both best friends, and they've been so since grade school. However, Mike would find a letter from his grandfather, which would lead him to an underground passage that was hidden under his bed, and his grandfather would start training him and Owen to be ninjas. So in the first episode, they would meet their first adversary known as the Rhymer, who was played by none other than Christopher Reed, aka the rapper known as Kid, and also in the episode would be Brazilian martial artist named Latif Crowder. He was pretty cool. Their first mission was to rescue Amanda McKay from the Rhymer, who they would fight for and rescue after defeating the Rhymer's minions. However, Amanda McKay would stay and become their third ninja. There you have it, the origin of Supah Ninjas.
Now, let's talk about important moments in Supah Ninjas, shall we? There are 3 important moments that you need to know about. The first being all the guest stars that have been on Supah Ninjas. The first guest star we're going to talk about is The Big Show. WWE superstar The Big Show guest starred on Supah Ninjas. The second guest star on Supah Ninjas was Danny Masterson, who you may remember played Hyde in That 70s Show. Then there was Greg Daniels, who you may remember, or you may not remember, was in the Tekken movie, and he was also in Game of Death with Wesley Snipes. And finally, there was Ray Park and Fred, who were both in the same episode together. I loved all these guest stars. I love seeing them all together. It was amazing, funny, smart. I hope that you guys watch it. The second important moment they need to know about is when we meet the Ishina. The Ishina were a group of ninjas that are rival to the Fukunaga clan. Now, I forgot to mention this in important moments before in guest stars, but when we first meet the Ishina, the leader of the Ishina was played by Johnny Young Bosch, who you may remember played the Black Mighty Morphin Ranger, aka Adam. That is important because the Ishina are against the Fukunaga clan and they are obsessed with finding the floating sword. And the leader of the Ishina is Cousin Connor, but we found out that Cousin Connor was trained by Grandpa's twin brother. The final important moment we're going to talk about is when we first see the floating sword. It required amazing training and skill in order to wield because the floating sword was basically a graviton blade. It had amazing wielding abilities and it had a mind of its own, so you needed telekinesis in order to control it. Everyone fought over the floating sword throughout the entire series, but it's important to know this: the floating sword wound up in the hands of the Supah ninjas. Now I have 5 favorite moments in Supah Ninjas. The first favorite moment being the episode known as 2-Ton Harley. Now, this is the episode in which the Big Show guest starred on. See, 2-Ton Harley was a prisoner who was in prison for a crime that I'm not allowed to divulge, but he busted out literally. Okay, he literally busted through a wall because he's that huge. I mean, he was played by the Big Show. So, in the end, the Supah Ninjas, they had to work together in order to fight 2-Ton Harley. It was a pretty fun and pretty amazing episode. I hope that you guys watch it. My second favorite moment is the episode entitled Limelight. In this episode, we are introduced to Limelight, who is guest starred by Danny Masterson from That 70s Show. In this episode, he has kidnapped 3 celebrities, an athlete, a model, and an actor, because he is jealous of the fact that they all went on to amazing careers when all that fame should have been his. In the end, the Supah Ninjas work together to fight him and his minions and his henchmen as well. It is fun. It is amazing. I hope that you guys watch it. My third favorite episode is the episode entitled Morningstar Academy. In this episode, Daniela Monet from Victorious guest stars, and she is part of an academy that trains young girls to be criminals. See, they are in this place called Empire City Mint, and they're all trying to rob the place of its imprinting place. By the way, spoilers. Sorry, should have mentioned that. Anyway, they are basically trying to rob the place, but Amanda fights them all with the help of Mike and Owen, and Mike is sick at the time. So, it's pretty amazing. I hope that you watch it because I'm highly recommending it. My fourth favorite moment is the episode entitled DJ Elephant Head. In this episode, a DJ has taken over Benjamin Rush High and has put all of its students to sleep. In this episode, Owen has to go through a massive dream state in order to stop DJ Elephant Head from stealing something called the Eye of India. It's amazing. I liked it. It had a lot of great music, dancing, fight scenes. Watch it, guys. My final favorite moment is the episode entitled Flint Forrester. In this episode, a kid named Flint Forrester, who's basically like a modern day Robin Hood, is stealing from rich people and giving all the money that he sells to the needy. It is pretty amazing because Amanda falls in love with him, and the two of them go on this weird, massive journey together. It was pretty cool to see. I hope that you guys watch it because Flint Forrester, like I said, he's like a modern day Robin Hood. Now let's talk powers and abilities, shall we? The first thing you need to know about the Supah Ninjas is that they are trained in ninjutsu, which means that they have amazing hand-to-hand combat abilities, expert in acrobatics, and they are also expert in hacking, locks, and systems infiltration. They have amazing weapons such as nunchucks, bow staffs, and tonfa sticks that help them fight against crime and all of its corruption. But the thing is that they need to work together in order to do so, but it's hard to do when you're teenage kids living and working together. And they also had to keep this a secret away from their families due to the fact that it could put their families in danger. I hope that you guys watch Supah Ninjas. I loved it. You'll love it. And that brings another episode of the Curtis Zone to a screeching close, ladies and gentlemen. As always, remember to hit that like and subscribe button for more content. And I want to thank everybody for coming by to see me. Now, as always, remember to give some love to our sponsors, Coastal Waste and Recycling, because your garbage, it powers someone's world, okay? And the more you recycle, the more that people can live in a safe and clean environment, okay? As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or just want to make a request for any episode period, a history of, a top 10, a how powerful would, an evolution of, or a pull list episode, leave it in the comment section down below and I'll get back to you, okay? It's going to be fun. We're going to be back soon. We here on the Curtis Zone, we listen to you, okay? I'll see you all very, very soon.